He had two modes, math and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels.
It's time to duel!
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead, look it up. Thanks so much. I'm getting into another little series today, really little series. It's been posted by a deleted user, which I find fascinating, as always. It was posted only 1 month ago, which is a sight better than a decade ago, like I've been stuck doing. But I mean, come on, there is just so much gold that flies under the radar. And lastly, at a cursory glance at the cast list, it seems to be about punk rock kids, which, yeah, you know I love the shit out of that. So let's go ahead and see how it goes today. Jump in and join me, won't you, as we experience Robin DeBeard. Robin DeBeard. That's what I just said. Hi, deleted user. The sad thing is, I don't even know what their name used to be. They call themselves OP, so I guess we're just going to roll with that. But truly, thank you for writing a wonderful 4-part story, or what I presume is wonderful. Anyway, I've been listening to Red for about a year now. Oh, good. We managed to hold you for a year. We must be doing something right. And I thought I'd tell the story of one of the beards that I met in my youth. He came in and out of my life between the ages of 16 to 23. Yeah, hell of a time. The cast is myself, OP, Bree, my friend, Mike, Bree's hothead boyfriend, and Robin, the Beard. And now we're off to the races. So I first met Robin when my dad moved our family from my small farming town to a town an hour away. It was during the financial troubles of 2009. As opposed to the financial troubles of every other year. And that's a general statement. I'm not coming after your dad, okay? This was the 10th grade year of high school for OP. We found cheaper rent in a grim little nowhere town in central Florida. Oh, another Florida story. Where the meth flowed free, and the working girls walked up and down the main highway during the morning and late hours. Am I supposed to be speaking about it wistfully? Because I sort of am, but I don't think I should be. Anyways, our high school was one of those places where your only options were the Marines or the NFL. Yeah, they made meatheads. You'll either be a fight and die meathead, or you'll be a pummel each other for fun meathead. And at a certain point, it's not even really that fun. So our school's money all went into the JROTC and football programs. I mean, military and media, it's kind of the divide of money even in real life, but I digress. It's a rant for another day. Due to schools being rezoned, our school was split into 3 groups. The rich kids from a town over, the kids from the project, and your trailer park kids. The project kids and the trailer kids formed a group of nerdy rap and heavy metal fans, and there was also one clean-cut church-going group. 5'11" at the time, big and dorky farm boy, yeah, that's your OP. Oh, we're doing another cast list, more extended this time. So yeah, we got OP, there's also Bree, a 5'2" Puerto Rican rocker chick with red hair, and a skinny cute build who loved to fight, and that could drink like a sailor. I mean, sort of beard bait, and it's sort of working. She adopted me, OP, as her pet project. She was the mom friend of the group of misfits, and her boyfriend Mike was the ringleader of the group. Mike was very edgy. He was a short kid from Boston and had a bad home life. Think any Irish kid from a Wahlberg movie, and yeah, you got Mike. That's great. We could do a Boston accent. Oh, God. Give me some chowder. At his heart of hearts, Mike was not a bad person, but he was not somebody that I tried to interact with. We bumped heads a few times, but I talked him down. Ex-coworker once called me a human, which is a great thing to be if we really have to pick something. Anyways, lastly, there was Robin, and he was a tertiary friend who sort of just hung around the group. Yeah, you know, one of those guys that nobody wants to be mean and tell them to go away. Nobody actually invited you, but I understand that you need a social connection. so we will allow it to you out of the goodness of our hearts, because that is the type of empathy that being a misfit will grant you. But still, for real, Robin, I hate you so goddamn much. We know nothing about him is the joke, I guess. But I'm so ready to tear his head off, so if you screw this up, OP, really, that's on you. Though so far it seems competently written, I don't know. Sometimes I get surprised. Anyway, for the Stargate SG-1 fans among us, I swear he was a real. Admittedly, I'm not an SG-1 fan, so I looked it up. Real do not embrace technology or conflict, and their natural defense mechanism is a chemical produced in their bodies which resembles cortical acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate and process human memory. The Real's pheromones manipulate the temporal lobe associated with face recognition, allowing the mind to fill in details and perceive the alien appearance of the Real as something quite human and familiar. Dude, if this is a real Neckbeard adaptation, we're in big trouble. Imagine you think it's your mom, but it's actually a Neckbeard. It's like a Skinwalker story. Come in here, sweetie. I made you some meatloaf. So yes, Robin, this man, gaslit people so naturally. I swear it was like a natural defense mechanism in his biology. He might have had to do this to survive a bad home life, but that's complete speculation at this point. He was skinny, around 5'5". He had strawberry blood, glasses, and he looked like a giant rat. Are we talking strawberry blonde hair? Or his blood tastes like Smuckers? Okay. He had beady eyes and a rat-like face. I mean, I'm sort of weak for rats, honestly. But not human rats. No, it's disgusting! Ew, I like them! If you want to hear me talk a lot about rats, you should listen to the Bourgeois Beard saga. Lots of plugs. We're doing good. Bree used to joke about Robin's rat-like face constantly. I'm sure Robin laughed along, but deep down he's crying. He just wants Bree to think he's cool, so he lets her get away with it. 16, what a wonderfully awkward time. Anyway, Robin would mac on every girl in our little group. Mac on him? Dude, we're going way back, you know? I used to call myself a little Mac until I realized it sounds like a Burger King special. That joke has layers, much like a Lil Mac. Robin would spend his mornings going around to every girl and asking, "Where's my hug?" I don't know, bitch, I didn't bring it to school. What do you want?
Ew, get off of me. Ugh, as if.
Most of the girls would attempt to brush him off, but he would always go into this tirade about, "Oh, we aren't friends, I guess. Nag, nag, nag." And finally, the girls would hug him just to shut him up. Yeah, I don't know if that really counts as macking necessarily. He's got no game. A few of the girls would give him attention, thinking that he was a nice guy and that he was just being like their brother. Oh no, help, I'm stuck in a washing machine. He would quickly turn this into rubbing his head deep into their tank tops. This drove their boyfriends insane. Well, he's like motorboating these girls and not getting punched in the mouth, or he's just like sniffing them real deep. Either way, it's a good way to get your ass kicked. Robin, however, would then backpedal and state, "That is my sister. What? I'm not allowed to hug my sister?" He would then somehow get the girl angry at her boyfriend, leaving all the guys in the group absolutely dumbfounded. Yeah, this is real high school shit, isn't it? Robin is a snaky little worm boy. This wouldn't happen if you gave him a more masculine name. Like Philip or Jerry. Jerry's gonna tell you how it is. Anyway, Robin's main victim was Bree, and about the middle of our 11th grade year, this act came to a head. I was late getting to school, and when I got to the lunchroom, it was deafening. Mike had Robin up against the wall. Hell yeah, up against the wall. We're fans of that around here. I don't know if he necessarily deserves the wall 100% at this point, but I'm happy to watch. Bree was yelling at Mike to stop, and school admins were hoofing it down the hall from the office. Mike was dragged off by our 6'6" ex-Navy corpsman AP and was carried kicking and screaming to the office. Just imagine a giant albino gorilla with a huge smile and a southern accent in a fine suit. Now I may be just a humble ape in a suit, but you may not beat up other students in my lunchroom. Something like that. Robin was laying like a corpse, taking small breaths, while the school nurse was checking him out. It took a good 5 minutes for Robin to catch his breath, and when he caught it, he began whining to the staff, which I didn't even hear because the school bell had rung. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, dude. This is one of those fuck around and find out situations. And find out you definitely did. Will you continue down the same path? You're probably going to end up reaping the same results. Anyway, in third period, I learned from Bree what had happened. Robin was doing his usual feeling up on the girls with his head. Well, Bree was rather busty, and he pushed too hard, and Bree had a Janet Jackson moment. A wardrobe malfunction, I think they call it. Seeing this, Mike ran, put one foot on the stool that was attached to the table, and literally cleared the Yu-Gi-Oh game that was going on. He landed with his whole weight on top of Robin and threw him into the wall. He then started choking and punching Robin while Robin just stood there with his hands up. Hit him harder, fuck this. Bree was convinced that it was an accident. I attempted to defend Mike, saying, yeah, he went too far, but that was hardly an accident on Robin's part. Bree just went quiet and didn't talk to me for the rest of class. Are you really that in denial, Bree, or are you just kind of enjoying the extra attention? You could tell me, come on. I'm not gonna tell nobody. I mean, thousands of people that watch the videos, but nobody else. Mike naturally got into a ton of trouble, and there was a lot of talk about him having to go to the alternative school. Oh, no. I thought this school was the alternative school, honestly. There was talk of him getting charges, as at the time we were a, quote, zero-tolerance school district. Okay, for violence, sure, but drugs are still cool. Luckily, our AP was an understanding man. He and the school resource officer told Robin's mom Mike's side of the story, and Robin's mom denied charges. Mike basically was just not at school for a while, and of course Robin would turn this too into his favor. Oh boy, here we go. Shit's really gonna start rolling downhill, you know? Robin turned Mike's persona non grata into an opportunity to mac real hard on Bree. And she's gonna continue to pretend that she doesn't see it. Oh, Bree is starting to enrage me already. You enjoy the attention is what it is. Well, let's see how much you enjoy it when there's no buffer between you and the beard. Bree and I were not really talking, as I kept on defending Mike's actions and giving my opinion about her friend. Robin started a campaign to play victim to the girls in the group and to court my favor. He had Bree ask me to be nice to him, to which I nicely retorted, over my dead body. So Bree and I didn't talk a lot for about 3 months. Robin shielded himself by becoming bro to about 4 girls in the group. Yeah, he wants to assign himself as their brother to, like, get close, but then when they friend zone him, or sibling zone him, I guess, he's definitely gonna cry about it. This is never gonna work. This is the worst strategy I've ever seen. But yeah, I guess he just makes the foul soup into his mattress every night while thinking about motorboating these high school girls. What the hell's going on? OP continues, I met my best friend junior year, and I went off and just hung out more with him. I talked to one of the girls who was dating my friend Tim, who was Bree's best friend. Abby kept me updated on the drama and what Robin was doing. I guess Abby is Tim's girlfriend? God, this really is some high school shit you're pulling me in on, huh? Robin was on a text messaging campaign every night to Bree to explain how sorry he was for the accident and that he hoped Mike didn't get into too much trouble. He said, "Hey, Mike is just like that. And if you would have let me explain, we could have worked it out. I mean, he's just a jealous guy. He really controls you and nag. Is Bree responding to any of this or just letting him talk at her? I guess that question's answered in the next sentence because by the start of senior year, Bree and Robin were dating. He really did worm his way in, didn't he? Disgusting. It lasted about 2 to 3 weeks. Ah, high school romance. For context, Bree is married to John Wayne, Ron Swanson, and Chuck Norris's DNA placed into a blender and cloned. Her husband is a volunteer firefighter who is a woodsman, carpenter, and amateur MMA fighter. That is Bree's type of guy. Yeah, she dated a wormy one just to see if it made any difference. And in less than a month, she's like, whoa, I gotta get the hell out of here. Robin's whiny, needy personality drove Bree absolutely insane. Yeah, because you're not acting like a man. It's not even all about her husband being an amateur firefighter and all this stuff. He just probably stands on his own 2 feet and is confident within himself. That truly is all it takes. It's kind of crazy, I know. It came to a head when Bree's little sister informed Bree that Robin had been creeping around the 9th graders. About now is the point where I pretend to be surprised, isn't it? Apparently, Robin was dating about 3 9th graders during the month or so that Bree and him had dated. I mean, what is dating actually? Like you kissed them and stuff? Robin is too scared to fuck, I guarantee it. Bree went off and Robin was basically forced out of the group. Mike came back to school senior year and made up with Bree. Mike was back in the group and Robin was basically afraid to show his face for the rest of the school year. He hung around the 9th graders and was still the "where's my hug" creep to all the freshly minted teenage girls. Y'all think this is what Joe Biden was like in high school?
Every child out there is capable.
There's something I gotta tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Come on, man.
We could have picked anybody. I go after Joe Biden. It's fine. There's video evidence. Don't at me, okay?
Well, you just smell good all the time.
I really hate everything that Robin's about. I can tell he's not the most degenerate that we've ever seen, but that's mostly because we've seen some really terrible degenerates. He's forcing like multiple women into situations that they clearly don't want to be in. And the crazy part is he seems to just get away with it. Why was he not suspended for the fighting? Because he didn't punch back?
You can't keep getting away with it!
I'm pretty sure that zero tolerance means zero tolerance. But I guess this school full of hypocrites or something like that. Anyways, we got a few more parts of this, so let's roll on through and see if it degenerates any further, which it will. Robin DeBeard 2. I'm sort of excited. A beard we all love to hate. I didn't know where to add this, but 2 things to think about before you read this, and information I didn't have at the time. Robin was 3 years older than I am. Thank you, No Child Left Behind. And he was not poor like most of us, but his mom was a surgical nurse and made great money. She just didn't give her son any money because he was a dirtbag. He had been one of the rich kids who had been rezoned into our school in the 10th grade. Oh, he's an outlier. Guess it's just too bad that money can't buy you education. At least not in high school. You wait till college and then money will do whatever you want. I left the hollowed halls of our crappy high school to be reborn as a warehouse worker and then a retail manager. I had a growth spurt and hit my 6'2", and the warehouse work, being hard labor, got me into the best shape of my life. Yeah, that little 18 to 22 window where your body just reforms itself overnight. Then you slap another decade on, it's like, god damn, I can't make it do nothing. OP says, man, do I miss it. Moving 50 to 100 pound metal objects thousands of times in 15-hour shifts tends to do that. And man, making $15 plus overtime in 2012 was pretty good money for an 18-year-old who lived with his parents. Yeah, what'd you do with it? Did you invest it somewhere? Oh, you spent it. Damn. 2013 rolled around and I got laid off for the season. They welcomed me back the following year, but it being a family business, there were pluses and minuses to the job. Yeah, same. The vitamin manufacturer I used to work for was a family-owned business. And while it wasn't a corporate hellscape, it definitely did have its own idiosyncrasies. It was owned by three brothers who fought like, well, three brothers. We had an entire week where we couldn't do a job because the brother who was certified to run the fabrication machine, basically like a proto 3D printer, got pissed off and refused to come to work. He spent the week at the honky-tonk bar, line dancing and getting plastered like a 1950s home. Yeah, see, these are the idiosyncrasies I'm talking about. You're gonna shoot your entire business in the foot over a fight that you had with your brother. Do you not like money? Do you not want to make more of it? If only so you could buy drinks at the honky-tonk bar and continue line dancing. To be fair, I do love country, but not that much. I was so over it that I went to work for a local big box retail store. Here we go, corporate hellscape. I also learned about the Pell Grant and went back to school at our local community college in January 2013. Bree and I had made up and basically our entire group was there. They'd taken over the cafe at the school and there were 3 tables deep of Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and WoW card games going on at any given time. WoW card game? Like Hearthstone? Was there another one I don't know about? Also, where's the Pokemon representation? I find this very problematic. This group attracted many newcomers, and it was basically our own little MetroCon, smell and all. Most people were really cool, but there were many a proto-Neckbeard there. I mean, you build them a nest, and then you're surprised when they start arriving.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Marvel was just ramping up on their movies, and one of my friends literally thought he was Tony Stark. That was like his entire personality. Yeah, back then it's a mental illness. Today they're just otherkin. They're like, I have this Iron Man inside of me. You don't understand, guys. When I shift, like I am Iron Man. Okay, whatever. You sound like an insane person. Leave me out of it. To be fair, my entire freshman personality was Star Wars and Batman at the time, so I couldn't say much to the guy. I mean, mine was weed and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I guess. Nobody's their own person at this young an age, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yes, neither me nor OP could say much about that dude. The Iron Man otherkin dude. My freshman year was one of the happiest times in my life. I had money, a tight group of 5 or so friends to go everywhere with, and weird, but honestly great company between classes. Yep, so long as you're not a milady or trying to compete with them for a milady, you're probably safe. 2014, however, was not so grand. Robin turned up out of nowhere on January 2014. Tim, Bree, and I were having coffee like we usually did. I was making jokes with Gary, who, as usual, had his face in Yu-Gi-Oh! As he spouted yo mama jokes. Gary isn't a huge character in the story, and he literally didn't say a lot, but he was an extremely kind and funny man. Alright, word, shout out Gary, I guess. He had 2 modes, math and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels.
It's time to duel!
We were 19 to 20, and we were just not well-defined people yet. Yeah, I know, I lived it. You don't really have to clarify. Teenagers get a ton of leeway, 20-somethings, not as much, but still some. And then by the time you get 30, you better fucking have it figured out. If you're not well-defined by that point, it really is just tragic. Anyway, Robin came up to us and went straight up to Bree and hugged her. He then went to Gary and gusted over his Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as Gary did have an insane collection.
Oh my god, is that Blue Eyes White Dragon?
I looked at Bree with a raised eyebrow and she said, yeah, we made up and he said he was coming here. I told him since Mike and I are no longer together, he could hang out with us again. Bree really is an idiot. Okay. Physical description caught me a little bit, but all interest goes out the window when you learn she's a complete moron. OP says, I don't know where Mike went. Bree never talked about him, and I just kind of left it alone. Such a dude thing to do. Just take it as a statement of fact. Don't ask any questions. Just like, all right, cool. OP says, I just shrugged, like, whatever, man. At lunch, Robin cornered me and said,
Hey, I'm sorry about high school. It was a real creep and so forth.
I told him, hey, dude, it was high school. And I meant it. I was an idiot at 16 to 17 years old as well. I think we all were. Although I must say there's a big difference between an idiot and a creep. But I guess people can grow and change, and yeah, let's see how he's grown and changed. So we let him back into the group, and for a time he was actually pretty cool. He wasn't rubbing up on women. He got a girlfriend, and they seemed happy. Oh, look at him go! It really did look like he had changed, until things started to go missing. Oh, he just changed his brand of degeneracy. Gary and some other card gamers were all from fairly wealthy families. They spent every dime that they could get from their moms and dads on cards. These guys had huge collections of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and some, I were told, were some serious money. Yeah, people go crazy for cardboard crack. I don't know all the details because Magic is utterly lost on me, and I've not played a single card game since 3rd generation Pokemon cards. That's okay, all you have to know is that they have a monetary value. I come in and the group is having a meeting. I said, hey guys, what's going on? Gary is practically in tears and tells me in a rage-filled rant that he is missing hundreds of dollars worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The card gamers were all basically lifelong friends and knew each other from tournaments and school and, you know, being neighbors. There was an honor code that had not been broken for 3 to 4 years for some of them. I mean, 3 to 4 years ain't that long. I guess it is when you're 16. They seem like a bunch of good kids, but now there's a new X Factor in town. His name is Robin. Maybe we should look at his direction. There was really only one person that it could be, and we all agreed that it was Robin. Good police work there, Lou. Gary confronted Robin the next day, and it went well. Actually, you've all been rused because no, it didn't. Gary asked Robin calmly what was going on. Robin went into full-on victim and protest mode, and this sent my rotund, jovial, and ever-kind Caribbean friend into a blood rage. I mean, I'm not gonna say you should kick his ass over Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I mean, it's as good a reason as any at this point. He has it coming one way or the other. OP says the truth is Robin had a way of talking you into punching him in the face. Gary lunged at Robin and I committed the worst sin in nerddom. I jumped between them and broke up a Neckbeard fight. I will forever be ashamed. Yeah, you saved them both from some harsh life lessons. The universe was trying to teach something here. But at least I've been assured that OP won't make the same mistake twice. No, I didn't want Gary to get in trouble. All I could think of as I was bear-hugging Gary is, for a man who never moves, he is strong. Yeah, fat people usually are. They gotta carry around those weights all day. The ever-helpful school security came by and told us,
Hey guys, shut up and leave.
Gary explained the situation, and the 100-year-old security guard said, something will try to find you. Something cardboard. Yeah, whatever. They truly had the best on this case. The sad thing is, it probably is their best. I make $15 an hour just like you. Leave me alone. We sat Gary down, and Robin sat on the other side with me in the middle. Robin continued to protest that Gary,
he must have lost the cards, and he doesn't even know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh anyways, and I never stole anything in my life.
Well, there was no proof that he did or that he didn't. Yeah, except for the fact that he's the X Factor here. Something's changed between these Yu-Gi-Oh games and the last. I saw you ogling his cards. Tony Stark came up with a good idea that they leave all their cards at home. They all Google searched the cards and printed out blurry replacements for their collection.
Well, that's not the same. I'm not going to play anymore because I'm a purist.
This did remedy the situation, though, because now there was really nothing to steal. I honestly, at the time, didn't know if Robin had done it or not. He'd never stolen anything in high school, so I was inclined to believe him. As most things do, it all blew over in a few months. Gary, though, never interacted with Robin again. Yeah, no big loss there. Gary knows the truth deep down. What's all this talk about evidence? You know that's not how we do things here. We put 2 and 2 together, and sometimes the math adds up, and yeah, usually it adds up. I guess this is slightly less degenerate than the last one, so we're making progress in a good direction, sort of. I guess we should just go see what happens next to really determine what direction we're moving in, so join me over there. Robin DeBeard 3. Wait, what? Who? I said Robin DeBeard 3. It's the guy you've been listening to stories about for this whole video so far? So, shortly after the situation with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards during the end of spring semester, Robin started pumping those of us that worked for information about our jobs. I told him, hey man, we are always hiring. Turnover in retail, especially the front end, was just terrible. I was a front end manager and I would often tell stories or complain to the group. Robin said that he would apply and asked if I would put in a good word. I said, sorry man, I just got this position. I can't. He said, yeah, I understand, man. All good. Something tells me he doesn't really understand. So I come in for my shift about a week later, and the HR manager pulls me in. The HR manager, Courtney, says, hey, like, OP, your friend stopped by or whatever, and he did super well on his interview. I said, oh, yeah, Tim would be great for the team. She said, Tim? Like, no, Robin. You did tell him he could, like, use you as a referral, right? I made a non-committal noise. I mean, but sure, we need people. So Courtney approved the hire on the computer. Robin texted me the next day and said, dude, thank you so much. I'm so thankful for you giving me a reference. I said, yeah, sure, all good. I mean, Robin's now muscling into places that he wants to be, but OP's acting like a noodle spine and not addressing any of it. I don't care if you need people. It's not like we just need warm bodies. We need functional people, which Robin is clearly not. Anyways, continuing on, OP says, again, Robin really was acting on his best behavior, and I thought at the time that really he needed the money. He was always complaining about being broke, and people would buy him lunch or help him out. Wasn't he one of the rich kids? Fuck this. He even got one of our friends to hook him up with a MetroCon pass. He was our friend, and his mom was a single mother who was just trying her best. A rich kid from a single-parent household? I don't know, man. Sorta sus. Maybe they were rich in high school, but they got a divorce, and now that's just been hell for them. Anyway, Robin couldn't afford anything, because he didn't have a car or a way to get to his job. I was proud of him for applying at my store, and I did think that that was personal growth on his part. That is what it seems like on the surface. Unfortunately, we know better than to truly believe at this point. Robin's first month went by, and it seemed like he was doing well. I was on my lunch break one day, and Nikki, probably my best work friend and our head of security, asked me over lunch, so tell me about Robin. How do you know him? I told Nikki, honestly, I don't know him that well. He went to my high school and goes to my college. He's sort of just always been there. He's a friend of a friend. She laughed. Oh, it's a she, whatever. Yeah, he's told everyone that'll listen that you guys are best friends from high school. I just laughed and shook my head. No. Then she got very serious and asked, has he ever been sketchy or taken anything? I honestly was super tired from 5 classes and working so much overtime. I didn't even realize what she was asking me. I thought for a moment and said, not really, but there was this thing with some Yu-Gi-Oh cards and a big to-do about it. She said,
Interesting. Well, buddy, did not say anything, but stay away from that guy.
oh, trust me, I've tried to, sort of. I was confused by the situation and just said, okay. Hindsight is 2020. At the time, I was just worried about stocking shelves, breaks, and closing. I can be sort of thick sometimes. Honestly, it's the way most of the human population has gone. Go through the motions, do the thing you're supposed to do, and then turn your brain off. Even when you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, a lot of us turn our brains off if it's possible. We're all just waiting to get back home to watch Kitchen Nightmares and doom scroll on our phone at the same time. Do that for 6-7 hours, boom, it's time for bed. Where does the time go? Anyway, staying away from Robin was not too hard, as he moved to an opposite shift when a girl from clothing had gone to HR and complained that he kept hitting on her. Yeah, still up to his old shenanigans. Nikki and I were having lunch and she said,
Man, hitting on a 16-year-old at his age.
I said, his age? Due to the way that Nikki had said it. She said,
Yeah, dude, he's almost 24.
I said, he told us, or maybe I just thought that he was a year younger than us. Nikki gave me her what I call the New Yorker look, which meant, and you fucking believed him? I joked, hey, Nikki, on the farm a man's word is his bond, I said. I can't believe he didn't get fired over that. And Nikki sort of bobbed her head and winked at me. The wheels are in motion, don't you worry. Continuing on, it was the first day of fall semester. I had to work overtime and I was just about to leave for my night classes. The guy that worked in electronics came up to me.
Hey, do you know where Robin is? Bro, I gotta get to class.
I radioed, Robin, are you in the building yet? Nikki comes over the radio.
Hey, front end, go to 4, please,
Nikki said.
Hey, just tell him that Tyler took Robin's shift and he's like 2 minutes out. Also, bro, come to my office if you have a second.
I went to the security office and Nikki said,
Don't worry, we know you had nothing to do with it.
That's never a good start to a conversation. She said,
Robin's been fired, and the cops came and picked him up.
I said, wait, what did he do?
She said, almost from the minute he started here, he's been stealing promotional gift cards and using them to buy cards and video games. When you told me that the Yu-Gi-Oh cards had gone missing, I started to watch him stock cards. He was also slipping packs into his pocket every closing shift.
She estimated we'd been taken for at least $500. Promotional gift cards? You know, the cards that they stock on the shelf have to be like activated at the register, right? Do they not have an inventory on these things? Whatever. Yes, promotional gift cards.
It's free real estate, bro.
She looked me dead in the eyes and said,
Be glad that you're a great worker and a really nice person, because corporate was certain that you was working with them. We all defended you, and when I told you to stay away, they were watching your every move.
Which I understood. She said,
He'd gotten so bold he was trying to wear a jacket out of the store on his lunch break when they came to arrest him.
Just like world's dumbest criminals, bro. You know they're keeping track of all those gift card codes and how they're used, right? Once they suspect anything, they take a cursory glance, bing, bang, boom. You're getting charges filed on you. OP says, I'm not even sure what Robin got as far as jail time. He basically disappeared for a year, and no one heard from him. I told the group at school what had happened, and Gary basically told us,
Oh, I told you so.
And he was very much within his right to do so. I continued to work at that store, and nothing much really ever happened. Must have been nice. Some people from the group came, and some left for the local university. Bree went to a music festival and had a night with a handsome young fireman. They learned that they were pregnant, and she dropped out of college.
That's right, baby. You don't need no college. Barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen. That's your job.
Terrible thing to say. But Bree does break the mold because OP says she's now a responsible mother and HR manager working for an orange juice company. That wild teenager, a mother, and a career woman still just boggles my brain. We don't talk, but I do see her on Facebook from time to time. Yeah, people do grow apart like that, but I can't even be too mad about it. At a certain point, however, I do implore you to delete her. No more boring updates from a person you don't actually talk to. Problem solved. Or maybe OP doesn't see it as a problem, but I hate that shit. Anyway, one more part to go. let's get into that and see what happens. I thought the beard had been disposed of, but I guess he makes his triumphant return. Robin the Beard, final. Oh, he steals from the rich and gives to themselves. Robin the Beard. It's terrible. Like a CW character that died and then comes back for one more episode, Robin came back into my life one final time. People actually watch the CW? Anyway, it was my senior year, and I had transferred to a local 4-year college. Most of the crew had gone their separate ways. It was about a week before Halloween, and the twins, underclassmen, who I met at community college, contacted me on Facebook. They said they were throwing a big party at their house and wanted to, quote-unquote, get the band back together. There would be a large number of the old friend group there, and I was so excited. The twins asked me if I could bring some s'mores and come early to help them set up. It is probably one of the last times you'll all hang out together. I remember the last high school party I went to. And I even talked to my buddy TJ about how it would be the last one, how we'd never see each other after this. And that's exactly how it went. Some hella foresight. So OP says, I left work that night with a car full of s'mores supplies and joy in my heart to see Ben and Stephanie, the twins. The twins lived out in a rural area, and it took a good 45 minutes to get there. Upon arriving, I saw their mom and dad leaving. Their dad said,
Hey, OP, don't let them burn down my house.
Oh, of course not. A bunch of 20-somethings with booze and fire. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I brought in the bags and watched their older brother play Oblivion until the guests arrived. Nice, good helping with the setup. OP says, I asked about 30 times, hey, what do you need me to do? Well, Stephanie was running around yelling, I got it. And Ben looked at me.
You knew she wouldn't let us help, right?
Such a woman thing. About 20 minutes before the guests arrived, I took out the trash, and that was my big gold star moment. I mean, whatever. We take what we can get at a certain point. We started the night by playing beer pong. Ben loved to play with me because I don't drink, and he got mine. About an hour later, Ben was, I love you, drunk. Stephanie gave me the, really, dude, look and told me to take him upstairs. Ben, being like 5'2", I picked him up like a baby, as he told me, you are like the best, man, and I love you, and I'm gonna name my first son after you. He didn't, and I was very disappointed. Yeah, people say weird shit when they're drunk. Don't put too much stock in it. Stephanie called us for the bonfire, and we lit it and broke out the s'mores. It was one of those moments in life that you will never forget. Ben sleeping off cheap booze, our friend hitting on Stephanie's best friend, and in 3 years they would be married. Our friend who could play guitar and is taking song requests, and we had s'mores. We were just laughing and singing and just being young and free. Flashing back some nostalgic memories right now. You're gonna make me feel a certain type of way. Now bring in the beard so he could fuck up the entire scene. Then a truck pulls up. Stephanie jumps up and says, who is that? She runs into the house and to the door. We're all talking and singing. Then the guitar player stops mid-strum. Our backs were to the door and we all turn around. Stephanie announces, hey guys, Robin is here. To which the air around the house dropped to about -2,000 and the fire went out. I'm joking, of course. He's not exactly the devil, but it does seem like a good opportunity to give him the cold shoulder, huh? We all just kind of sat there, staring at Robin and his girlfriend walking towards us. I said, "Hey, Stephanie, could I talk to you in the kitchen?" And I asked her, "How do you know Robin?" She explained that she didn't know him, but he was in Ben's class last year and he said that he knew you guys. He and Ben had been doing airsoft together. Oh man, true evil never dies, does it? Do you think he's still a creep? I bet he's still a creep. Do we want to let him have a fourth chance? I think we're good. The twins had not been a part of the group when Robin was there. They joined like a semester or so before we all had left. Apparently Robin had come back after being released from jail and there was no one left that knew him. So he basically just picked up where he left off with the remainder of the group, largely by stating that he was a friend of ours and part of the group. Ugh, how awkward. Name dropping people that don't go to school here anymore. Just pretend to be a normal human being and blend. Blend, damn you! I told Stephanie that most of us had serious beef with Robin, and she said, "Dude, listen, it's one of Ben's friends. Take it up with him. I'm hosting." So I dropped it and just went back to the party. Robin didn't get any of my s'mores. My vengeance was minor, but delicious. Yes, the smallest form of retribution ever. We take those, I guess. We all got bored of the bonfire and went into the house, where Stephanie had prepared a dance floor in the living room. We were all dancing when I saw Stephanie looking inquisitively at us. I looked at her like, what? She flagged me over and said, "How old do you think that girl with Robin is?" I said, "I'm not sure." Robin said, "Go ask her, but be cool about it." I walked over and said, "Hey, how did you meet Robin?" She said, "Oh, I met him at a party." "Oh, cool. So what year are you?" "I'm a freshman." "Cool. What school?" "Freedom." "Where's Oh. You go to Freedom High School. "Yeah, what other freedom is there?" She giggles because she's drunk. Holy shit. This is a bombshell. I did that thing where you're trying not to run, but you can't walk either, back to Stephanie. I looked at Stephanie and told her, "That girl is 15. Stephanie goes pale and says, "Get him out of here now." Stephanie and Ben's parents are cops. Half of the kids at this party are cops' kids. Well, don't just shove him out. Maybe detain him until they can take him down to prison. And you know what happens to chomos in prison, don't you? Problem solved. Glad I could get it sorted for you. Her best friend and Stephanie grabbed that girl and take her over to the side. I walked straight up to Robin and grabbed him by the shirt. I truly cannot express how skinny and weightless this man is. He had to weigh like 90 pounds. Yeah, that's why he has to be a sneaky little rat boy. He's not tough enough to get laid any other way. I am carrying him while he tries to headbutt me. I unlock my fingers and he's screeching into my ear. I drop him onto their seashell driveway and he lands hard. I said, "Dude, leave. Now." Calmly. I don't think this is a calm situation. I think you're fully within your rights to stomp him out right now. Robin keeps saying the girl's name and that he needs to get her and he's her ride. I got about an inch from his face and I scream, "Leave! Now!" Ben's dad's a cop. Behind me were the rest of my friends who heard what had happened. He backed up and got into his truck. Stephanie got the girl to call her parents, and they came and got her. They were thankful, and they thought that she was studying at a friend's house, and not with a 26-year-old, quote-unquote, man. Thankfully, the twins' dad never found out, though we probably should have told him. No one has heard from Robin since that point. I think that night finally scared him. Yeah, scared him away from your friend group, at least, but I'm sure he's still out there being predatory in some form or fashion. God, I hate this. He did get publicly shamed, but for a degenerate like this, I promise you it's not enough. There will be a Robin DeBeard number 5 eventually. It's not something I'm hoping for, but it's something that I've accepted in advance. Anyway, pretty good story, OP. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, sub if you did. Hit me up on Patreon or YouTube channel memberships if you'd like to throw me some extra dosh. We also got my PayPal link in the description if you want to do like a one-off type of thing. There's Amazon affiliate down there, Teespring if you'd like some merch. Any way you can support it, it truly means the world to me. As do you yourself as a human being. So please remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. Promise, swears he